This is a call for a bit of calmness. Now, there's not a lot going on in the world of Liverpool today, which is probably not a good place to start a video because you might all turn off. But I will come on to a topic that I find interesting and something that I think is worth debating shortly. But before that, I just want to say just calmer, calmer. It's June the 6th. That means there's 2 months, more than 2 months, until Liverpool kick off their Premier League title defence. There's more than a month until Liverpool return to the AXA training centre for pre-season. So although it is calm, or although it is quiet and not a lot is going on, if you're one of those who refresh their Twitter feed every few minutes, thirsty for updates, you will have been disappointed today because not a lot is going on. Liverpool have moved closer to signing a goalkeeper that I had not heard of until 4 hours ago, called Armin Pekshi. Barry Lutas is left, the under-21s. And what a guy Barry is, by the way. Shout out Barry. Always friendly when I've dealt with him. Always says hello if I see him at the AXA. But calm. Florian Wirtz, I can assure you, and I will put my head on the line, Florian Wirtz will be a Liverpool player. Milos Kerkez will be a Liverpool player. If those things don't happen, then I will look like a mug, and I will happily look like a mug. But just calm. These deals will happen. It's only June the 6th. There's a long time to go yet. Normally, the transfer window would be a lull at this time of the year. It's only because we've got the Club World Cup that things are different. So don't worry. Liverpool just have to find agreements with those two players, and then we'll get them over the line. We'll get the green ticks. We'll get them holding up the shirt at the AXA. We will get them doing their welcome videos. It's just a case of you have to be patient with these ones. This is a club record fee we're talking about for Florian Wirtz, and it's not going to just be done like that. It's going to take time. And the start of next week, maybe there will be some more developments with that. Milos Kerkez, Bournemouth are holding out for 45 million, and why shouldn't they? Great player, and they've already lost one of their best players this summer in Dean Huijsen going to Real Madrid. There's interest from Paris Saint-Germain in Ilya Zabani. There's interest from all over in Antoine Semenyo. So the Bournemouth have every right to stand firm. Liverpool are confident that they can get a deal done for slightly less than that 45 million that Bournemouth want. But as I said, they're just going to take time. We just have to be patient. We just have to be calm. But don't worry. Get out there. Enjoy your weekends. And the transfers will happen. They're not a matter of if, they're a matter of when. So don't worry about them. But that's not really what this video is about. I'm here to talk about the Luis Diaz saga or the Luis Diaz debate because I've seen it split opinion on the timeline in the last 24, 48 hours. Or going back a few weeks or months, really, whether Luis Diaz is good enough to play for Liverpool in the long term or whether they should cash in this summer. Now, here's where the land lies. Barcelona got on the phone to Liverpool on Wednesday. It's now Friday. So let's imagine Deco gets on the phone. Hello, Mr. Richard Hughes. How are you, mate? We want to sign Luis Diaz. Richard Hughes basically said, absolutely not. Luis Diaz is not for sale. Put the phone down. Bang. He's not for sale. And that was a firm hands-off warning to Barcelona. Luis Diaz is not for sale. Just as a disclaimer, the conversation may not have gone exactly like that. But the rough gist of it is that Liverpool and Richard Hughes told Barcelona, told Deco, told Joan Laporte, whoever they need to tell, that Luis Diaz is not for sale this summer. But is that the end of it? And is that the right decision? Well, first of all, is that the end of it? I'm not so sure. Because the Saudis are keen, very keen on Luis Diaz this summer. And as far as I'm aware, they are just lurking in the background. Someone described them to me. I can't remember who it was that described them to me as the dark horses, Al Nasser, just lurking in the background, waiting to make their move, waiting to make their play for Luis Diaz. They want him a lot. So if you read between the lines, Liverpool want to keep him. But if the Saudis come in with a mega offer, let's say 80 million or 90 million, I don't know. Do they still stand firm on that? Because he's got 2 years left in his deal. I said in a video, was it last week, about his contract? Liverpool are relaxed about that. As I said last week, they're not planning to open talks over that anytime soon. When his contract expires, he'll be 30. And as we know, although the trend has been booked this season, Liverpool have form for not extending contracts of players in their 30s. So, do they cash in now, or do they just let it ride and get 2 more seasons out of him? Well, what I would say is Luis Diaz is an underrated player. He's not a perfect player, and I think he struggles for consistency at times. But if we look at his stats the last 3 seasons, these are just his base stats. We're not going to go into the underlying numbers. Last season, or the season just gone, this season, whatever we want to call it, 17 goals, 8 assists. They are good numbers. Season before, 13 goals, 7 assists. They're okay numbers. Well, they're good numbers for most Premier League players, but he's upped his game this season under Arne Slot. And we'll go into that a bit in a minute. The season before was wrecked by injury, 5 goals, 3 assists, knee injury, kept him out for a long time. But 17 goals, 8 assists, they are good numbers. He's not quite at the level of output of Sadio Mane, for example, how he was in his peak for Liverpool. But he has obviously shared his minutes with Cody Gakpo as well, who's also put up decent stats this season. Now, one thing that will be a loss for Diaz is Johnny Heitinga. Now, whenever you speak to players, which is not that often, it must be said, whenever you speak to Liverpool players this season, a few of them have singled out Heitinga for praise, for his video work, for his analysis, for his one-to-one tuition to get these players to improve. Now, Heitinga speaks Spanish. Someone told me anyway. I don't know if that's true. I presume it is. Someone told me Heitinga has been really crucial with the Spanish-speaking players like Diaz, like McAllister, and maybe like Nunes. But maybe it's not worked out the same for Nunes, but that is a different issue. Heitinga has really helped Diaz improve this season. I think he has improved. Obviously, we need to give kudos as well to Arne Slot, to Sipka Hulshoff, to Aaron Briggs, the other coaching staff as well. It's not like Heitinga leaving will make the whole ship sink, but he will be a big loss, and that this is just one example, should we say, of why. But I do think that Liverpool should keep Luis Diaz unless the offer is massive. That would be my overall theme of this video. And I think they are absolutely right to give that hands-off warning to Barcelona. But I do just sniff, maybe this is not the end of it, because if the Saudis come in, they might accept it. So maybe it's a case of saying, not directly saying, but indirectly saying, you're not going to Barcelona because that will strengthen a rival for the Champions League. But if the money is right from the Saudis, that could be your only option this summer, and that could help us because Liverpool do need to sell players. We'll come back round to it, but Liverpool do need to sell players because they're going to spend, let's say, 115, 120 million on Florian Wirtz. They're going to spend, let's say, 40 on Milos Kerkez. That's already taken us to about, 155. They've already spent 29 million on Georgi Mamadashvili. I know he signed last summer, but as far as I'm aware, it counts on this year's finances. And they've already spent a very similar fee on Jeremy Frimpong. So that takes us to, 215 million outlay this summer. If Liverpool want to push forward and make another signing or 2 more signings, whether that's a number 9 or a centre-back, maybe we'll talk about them next week in a video. There's a really annoying fly here, isn't there? It's like that episode of Breaking Bad, which is just about a fly. Hopefully this video is a little bit more engaging than that. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, they need to sell. So how do they recoup money to balance the books? Well, Darwin Núñez. Let's say they get a decent offer for him and he goes. I think it's almost certain that he will go. So Núñez goes, Harvey Elliott. If Florian Wirtz does come in, it looks unlikely that Elliott will stay. Let's say they get 40 to 50 million for him. Simicast, if Kirkes comes in, let's say 10 or 15, I'm not sure what Liverpool would want on Simicast. Might be one that I ask people in the next few days. They've already got 18 for Kelleher, they've got 10 for number 66, Trent Alexander-Arnold, and they have got, well, they've not got any confirmed yet, but they will hopefully do a sale for Tyler Morton as well. How much that will be, we're not sure. They could also sell a Ben Doak. They want 25-ish, maybe 30 for Ben Doak. As I've mentioned in past videos, Everton are keen, Bournemouth are keen, Palace, a couple of championship clubs that wouldn't be able to afford him to. Leicester, they went down, they were keen last summer, so were Southampton, so were Ipswich. So let's rule them out of the race. But a lot of clubs, let's say, are keen on Ben Doak. There's also interest for Jarell Kwanzaa, as I've said, from the Bundesliga, from England as well. So if you add all them up, that's well over 100 million, even into 150 million in outlay. So I don't think they need to sell Luis Diaz. This is the point I was trying to illustrate that for some reason took me 3 minutes. But there we go. So I think, to conclude, Liverpool should keep Luis Diaz because he's a good player. Yes, there are questions over his consistency. He often does 5 really good games and then 5 not so good games. But you look at them improvements this season that Slot and his coaching staff have helped Diaz, and obviously Diaz has helped himself with that. You can't all put it down to the coaches. Then I think that he can get even more better. Is that a word? Even more better? He can get, I don't know. He can improve further in the next season. So I don't think Liverpool should sell him unless a massive offer comes in from Saudi. So in a similar way to what Richard Hughes in our little imaginary conversation said earlier, hands off Luis Diaz. Barcelona, you're not having him. Saudis, unless you're going to cough up a huge figure, you're not having him either. Luis Diaz, good player, perhaps a little bit underrated, perhaps can improve even further. 2 years left on his deal. I think Liverpool should keep him for another year at least. So that's another video from me. And I'm going to say it now. I will be doing a Q&A on Monday. If I don't, please shout at me. So leave your questions in the comments to this. Send me a tweet. If it's nice. Anyway, I've had some quite nasty tweets in the last 24 hours. Send me a DM on Twitter. My DMs are always open. Or you can send a Telegram pigeon or whatever. But send me the questions. I'll get through 10, let's say 15 maybe on Monday in a Q&A. And I look forward to it. I'm going to go and sort out this fly to get him out of my room, out of my house. And I'll be back with another video on Monday. But yeah, maybe if I'm not back with another Q&A on Monday, that means I've pushed it back because there's some news, transfer news, and I'm waffling now. But maybe next week will be busier because international window will be over, international break. So big things ahead. But as I said at the top of the video, just stay calm, enjoy your weekend. Transfers will happen, things are moving, and yeah, have a good one.